Welcome, friends. I wanted to show you today something I'm going to do. It's a little fun, a little silly. I've had these, I don't know if they're hickory nuts or I was told they were northern pecans, probably the same thing. And we've eaten some, but they are so hard to get out. We stuck them in the freezer and I forgot about them. And I was cleaning out the freezer this weekend and I found them. And they're pretty old, so I'm going to run them over so I can crack them really easy and give them to my chickens. And I might throw a few for the squirrels around here. So apparently these are tougher than clamshells and oyster shells. So I'm just gonna go around the yard and like under the bird feeders and where I know the squirrels like to hang out way out back, and I'll spread them around and they can have them. Who knows, maybe someday we'll have one of those trees growing here, but I doubt it. I'm just gonna scoop these up. A lot of them are broken, or at least the shell is cracked a little. Give it to the chickens, give them something to do today. I'm sorry, ducklings, I just don't think that you would like to pick those apart. We cleaned out a neglected area of our basement, and I've got all this cardboard now to add to my garden as I lay down the muckings from the stalls for the winter. I thought we'd go down and just look at the garden and see kind of what I've done since the last time I showed you. Of course, it's winter, there's not much going on, but I was telling you how I was building up the beds and I didn't get to cleaning them. We had a lot of things go on this fall, but anyway, I didn't get to cleaning them up before everything froze, which isn't a big deal, but I would prefer to get it done before winter. But anyway, I have been busy lining the beds with cardboard and then filling them up with muckings. Let's see if you can see that. That bed's done. The garlic bed, of course. Now this bed is done here. And then I started on this bed down here. This one still has a little bit of lettuce and kale that I was experimenting with as a late fall planting, but it's really not doing a whole lot. So anyway, I'm just going to keep doing that with these beds and building them up. And then in the spring, they'll be all ready for me to put some of the finished compost on top and plant. Today I am bottling up my wild lettuce tincture. It's been sitting in here for about 6.5 weeks now, and you can see somewhat here that the liquid has taken on the plant's color, and the plant is no longer green, and it's, you know, anyway, that's how you tell it's time to bottle it up. I use that along with poppy flower tincture, and those two combined together help a lot with the joint pain that I've been having. I also take turmeric and do other things, but those are really helping a lot, and so I'm excited to finally have some wild lettuce tincture. This is not going well. Well, it took me a few tries to get a little bit of a system down here, and I'm running out of these little tincture bottles that I bought, but that's okay because it means I've got a lot of medicine here that I'll be able to use. But this seems to be working the best. My husband had a little flask funnel that I ended up going to get because I spilled a bunch, which I'm a little upset about. But this is the first time I've ever bottled a tincture, so I guess I'll have to deal with that learning curve. But I've got a nice little system going now. I have one more of these bottles, and then I'll show you what it all looks like. I'm at the end of the jar, and as I take the plant material out, I'm just kind of giving it a little squeeze, get any little last juices out of there. I'll feed those to the chickens, and try to find some room in one of these last bottles. This old bottle that I found at a flea market, I have several of these, and I just save old wine corks and I shave them down and use them as the cover for these. When they get old, I throw them away. Do it again. So as you can see here, I made quite a lot of tincture. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7, I think those are 4-ounce bottles. And then I had these that I found at a flea market. This one actually came with some natural salad dressings that I got at a flower and garden show, and I saved them because I thought they were good bottles for this sort of thing. These are just really cool old bottles. The covers are etched. That's how they seal. Pretty cool. And they have the ounce markings on there, but you can't see it from here. But and then this one's really cool too. It's like a beaker. But as you can see, you see I had this much left over, and I didn't really want to put that in a bottle. I'll just take it over the next couple days. I'll put a little plastic wrap over it. But as you can see, it's a really pretty amber color, and it really does work good. So there's my wild lettuce tincture. I'm so happy. Oh, and I also took some from that plant that I found late in the season, and I powdered it up. I dried it in the Excalibur, and then I powdered it up and put it in capsules. I haven't tried that yet, and once I do, I'll let you know what I think. This is where I have my tincture, but this is also where I keep a lot of my medicinal herbs. There I have a few in a few other spots, but this is my main medicinal herb cabinet. And anyway, that's it. I hope to get a bigger one going eventually, but for now this is quite a lot of food medicine, and I'm pretty happy with how it's growing. I've been reading this book here, and it's a really good book to encourage someone who's thinking about keeping bees like me, but is afraid of being stung like me. I do have a big fear of that. I used to drive an oil truck, and I got quite a few stings over the years doing that, and it's really made me leery of bees. But I try to remember that those were pretty much yellow jackets. Some of them were wasps, and honeybees are different. And then I was on a couple different forums on Facebook, groups, and they were saying the bees get aggressive sometimes around their hives and stuff. But this gentleman here, he's very concise, and I just really like the way that he encourages someone that they could be a honeybee hobbyist. And I've been wanting to raise honeybees for the honey and beeswax, but also because I feel part of my responsibility as a homesteader and a farmer, and part of the reason I'm doing this is that I want to take better care of the earth that we live on and leave it a better place for my grandchildren. And one of the ways that I can do that is to try to help the honeybees by raising some and keeping them healthy. So anyway, if you're thinking about getting into it, I also know that there are honeybee associations in most areas, and you can have someone mentor you. You can go and talk to people and go and visit some hives, which I meant to do last year and I never did get to, but I have some names of some people local, and I'm going to be doing that in the early spring and early summer. And I'm hoping by my birthday that I'll be ready for some. Look what we scored. One of the stores around here was doing a makeover, and they had this out by the dumpster. My husband went and asked, and they let us have it. This is so awesome. It's going to be great in the outdoor kitchen that I have someday, maybe this year, hopefully.